and welcome to the Call of Duty Global Pro League Stage 1 Playoff Bracket Draw Show presented by the PlayStation 4. My name is, of course, Ben. I'll be hosting this evening's draw, joined by the wonderful TP. We have Chance and, of course, Jack joining me tonight. Jack, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to see how this bracket all plays out. The 8 best teams in competitive Call of Duty, all more than deserving to be here. It's going to be fun.
It's definitely going to be fun. We're so excited for playoffs, and of course, playoffs coming very, very soon. The dates, May 26th to May 28th. There is $500,000 on the line, and it's going to be right here at the MLG Arena for a double elimination bracket. Let's take a look and see exactly how that prize pool is going to be broken down. Teep, $200,000 for first place.
This is basically like a mini champs. These teams have been fighting so hard throughout this month of groups to make it those top 2 spots. The top 8 could be playing for this prize breakdown here. $50K a piece for first. I need to get back into the action.
Yes, you do. You can carry me to the top as well, Teep. That'd be wonderful. But I believe we can actually go down to the main stage where we have Maven and Puckett ready to draw our first team from the first pool. Of course, the first pool of teams is going to be all of the teams that finished first within their group. And Maven, he's going to go straight down deep into that bag. And who is he going to draw out first? It looks like it's none other than Optic Gaming. Of course, Jack, this was the only team in regular season to go unbeaten in groups.
The best team in competitive Call of Duty. You see him pulled out of the bag right away. Karma, Crimsix, Scump, and Formal. These guys are fierce no matter what game mode, what game type, and whatever stage they are on. Expect to see them to be a force to be reckoned with at the Stage 1 playoffs.
I mean, really, from the scariest 1v1 probably Optic fans have ever seen to the top of the game without question. Impressive year so far coming out from the green wall.
Scump, Formal, Karma, Crimsix, all of the top tier players, legends in the Call of Duty scene, going to be placed at the top of your bracket.
And of course, Optic Gaming is a very, very successful squad, as we said, 6-0 in that group. The second #1 team to be pulled out, it's going to be Team Envious. Boy, oh boy, that side of the bracket looking interesting already, Jack.
I do not want to land over there by many of the remaining teams. Envy, you see right there on your screen, that was their celebration moment when they won the CWL championship last year for that major $800,000 prize pot. They're looking to continue to be one of the best teams in competitive Call of Duty, and it comes by winning at the Stage 1 final.
If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and this is a roster that has been getting better all year long. Hopefully for the pinnacle, they can peak right around champs, but playoffs is a great place to start.
One thing you have to note, though, they stole that #1 seed away from Splice in that group week 1 of Stage 1. So the fact that they did get that loss, they clutched up at the end with that 3-0.
Yes, indeed. They obviously finished third at CWL Atlanta as well. The third #1 seeded team to be pulled out. Of course, this will go down to the bottom side of the bracket. It's going to be United, and this is a team, Jack, who really have started to flourish in their gameplay.
Oh, this is the undisputed second best team in competitive Call of Duty. So much young, raw talent on this squad. When you think of the likes of Arcides, of Pristini, Silly now, with that nose ring, he's only going to be better.
Team is absolutely nutty. Gunless, one of the best, if not the best players in the game. Team is absolutely incredible. IW has been their year, but that's going to be the chance to prove it down at playoffs.
People were questioning them early in Infinite Warfare if they were the real deal. When they took Atlanta over Optic Gaming, that was solidified a top team for sure.
Of course, they finished 5-1 throughout the regular season. Now, of course, the final #1 seeded team, which is going to go down to the bottom side of the bracket. That's right, you guessed it. It's Evil Geniuses. And Jack, this was a team who started off their groups 0-2 and went on a miraculous run to finish first.
I still cannot believe that we've even seen Evil Geniuses be in that first place spot to be drawn out of that bag. Study, Nameless, Nagafen, and Havoc. Quite the squad from top to bottom, and they've really just snuck on into this position.
Yeah, and this is a team that without a doubt can handle an immense amount of pressure. I mean, their backs were against the wall for, what, an entire month, it seems. And to come out with a 1 seed is huge.
The momentum shifts with these guys is just unparalleled, to be honest. You can see that bracket come up now. What a top seed there.
Yeah, really. Optic Gaming at the top, Team Envious on the same side of the bracket, the bottom, United and Evil Genius. Now, this is important to note. You cannot be placed on the same side of the bracket as the team you were in the same group as during the regular season. So, for example, we have Team Envious at the top. That means if Splice was drawn, they cannot be on the top side of the bracket. They would be moved directly to the first available spot on the bottom side of that bracket. So, I mean, we look at it. I mean, you obviously have that potential Optic Gaming versus Team Envious matchup on the top side. Teep, I feel like that could be a thriller.
Oh, definitely. E-Classico, we love seeing that one. Hopefully we do.
Well, we'll see now who the first team drawn from the teams that finished second in the regular season is going to be, and it's going to be Enigma 6. Jack, E6, they impressed us so much.
Their uplink is really what got them to this point. Now a squad that seemed to have gotten better throughout the year. They made some waves at the CWL Vegas Open, but this team has adapted to this meta. They look strong as a squad. If they can improve in their hardpoint gameplay, I think they'll be a team that can definitely surprise some people at the Stage 1 playoffs.
Yeah, improvement in hardpoint search and destroy is the key. Their uplink has been fantastic, making the case for being the best uplink team in the game. But of course, it doesn't matter what you do here as long as you qualify. It matters what you do at playoffs.
Playing Optic close in a lot of series as well in this group green in Stage 1. We're going to see if these guys can sort of soar through the bracket.
Yep, it was a fantastic performance, but they've been drawn now in E United. That's going to be the first game that we see. There, a look at some of those stats. Hardpoint definitely in favor of E United. Uplink very in favor of Enigma 6. Teep, who do you have in this one?
It's really tough to call. I think when these two match up, it's going to go down to those search and destroys. Both so strong on those respawns. Whoever can take that map too, going to have a great advantage.
Of course, there, a look at that bracket. Enigma 6, of course, could not be drawn against Optic Gaming. As we know, they were in the same group, so they fall all the way to the bottom side of that bracket where they will face E United. That is definitely going to be a good one. Excited for that matchup come playoffs. Now, the second team to be drawn. Who is it going to be? Puckett going deep down into that bag. Looks like it is going to be FaZe Clan. Boy, oh boy.
Oh, man.
FaZe drawn. I mean, Jack, we've been so impressed at times throughout the year with FaZe. It's a phenomenal roster, it really is.
Optic Gaming versus FaZe. It looks like it's going to be either way. Clayster, Attach, Zuma, and Enable. This squad, they are scary. 3 top 3 finishes at CWL events this season. Very consistent team.
Yeah, I mean, talk about upset potential. This just got wild very quickly. But FaZe, they got to make the case. They were able to take Optic down back in the past, but it's been a long time coming. So they'll have a good opportunity back in playoffs.
Did a great job of clutching up on that third group, able to get that second slot over Rise. That last search and destroy, basically Clayster can take over at any given moment. Hopefully he can do it against Optic Gaming.
I mean, we talk about some of the biggest rivalries in Call of Duty Esports. Optic Gaming, Team Envious is one. We had them on the same side of the bracket. Then you had Optic Gaming, FaZe Clan. As you said, Chance, I think this just got interesting. In the current state, who do you have potentially coming out on top of that one, Chance?
I think you have to give it to Optic, of course, best team in the game. But I mean, just think of like the crazy butterfly effect that Evil Geniuses had just caused. Like they come out, have a massive performance, get that #1 seed, force FaZe the #2 to give us FaZe versus Optic Gaming. That's insane.
And there's a look at some of those stats, of course, for Hardpoint. It's 100% for Optic Gaming. They didn't lose one throughout all of the regular season. S&D was definitely bleak for FaZe. They're going to need to work on that at just a mere 25%. Now, the third team to be drawn into our Stage 1 playoff bracket, it looks like it is going to be Jack, this bracket now is getting so interesting.
Oh my goodness, LG, a team
Wow.
known for their respawn game modes. They fixed some of their issues, especially in Search and Destroy. Either way, what LG need to do is remain consistent across all 3. When they improve in one, they cannot let a different game mode fall behind. And you see Octane on your screen right there. He had arguably his best weekend of competitive Call of Duty so far this season during his group.
This team has had really obvious improvements that they've needed and made, and they've taken strides to do that. And again, we've been talking all year about how big of a force this team is, and well, that's the best side of the bracket if you want to prove that you're the best.
It's going to be quite a tough one for sure. Team Envious in this matchup, though, has gotten the better of them, especially at Dallas. But can you believe the top side of this bracket? How stacked can it be?
Wow, we often talk about group of death. Well, I feel like that's the side of death in terms of our playoff bracket for Stage 1. There, a look at some of our percentages. I mean, Hardpoint, 70% for Team Envious, 64% for Luminosity. S&D, I mean, that game is theoretically so close. Really, the biggest differential is going to be there in Uplink. Team Envious at 67%, Luminosity at 50%. And that, of course, as well, means there is just one more team left to be drawn into our bracket. And they will be, of course, playing against Evil Geniuses in that winners of bracket round #1, and it's going to be Europe's best. It's Splice.
The only European team to make it on in. It's only fitting that they're the last one drawn out of the bag of destiny you see there in the hands of Maven. Jordan crew, they've got their hands full with an entire continent on their back again. It was Splice back at the CWL Championships that all the Europeans are rooting for, and now again here in the CWL Global Pro League Stage 1 playoffs. Can these guys make an entire region proud? They've done it so far, but they've got to keep things going.
I mean, again, the weight of the region on their back. I think they have, honestly, a very good spot to make a decent run. Things are looking pretty good for Splice, but of course, it all matters about the Call of Duty you play on any given day.
When you're talking about these number 2 seeds, this is sort of the slot you were hoping you went into, to be honest. Evil Geniuses sort of runs away with that group, gets that number 1 spot. Splice versus EG, going to be a hell of a matchup. I'm giving that edge to Splice, though.
Definitely agree with you there, T. Here's a look at some of those stats. S and D, relatively even. However, Evil Geniuses do have the advantage. It's Hardpoint where Splice flourish and really pull away as the uplink. It seems, Chance, as if Splice's respawn game modes may get the best of Evil Geniuses statistically.
It's one of those things. They have the slaying power that they can keep up with the best in Hardpoint, and then Europe has been pretty good at uplink, and Splice is the pinnacle of that. Again, an 83% win ratio is pretty nice for them to have. And again, against EG, again, if I'm Splice, I'm chilling.
I mean, Jack, in terms of that bracket, I feel like we got a couple of thrilling games to kick off Stage 1 playoffs.
A couple. That is one of the most stacked brackets I have ever seen. So looking forward to seeing this all play out. Optic versus FaZe in that first round matchup. Such a stacked topside. If I'm United, I really couldn't be happier with the draw that I see in front of me. For them, it's them. They should be the team moving out of that winners bracket final if they play their game. No doubts in my mind.
Completely agree with you. Of course, as we mentioned, the playoff finals just a few weeks away. It's going to be May 26th to May 28th. There is $500,000 on the line. It's going to be right here at the MLG Arena for a double elimination bracket. And of course, our bracket now officially set. We'll see you on May 26th.